Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, everybody. Hope your Thursday's off to a fantastic start. Mixed results on the hardwood last night. The LSU Tigers got out to a big lead on Missouri and looked like they might actually have saved their best for last. Parker Edwards was senior night, so Parker Edwards got the start, hit 2 threes in the early going. LSU was 11 of 15 from 3 to start the game. 11 of 15 from 3 to start the game. 11 of 15 from 3 to start the game. Y'all heard me? 11 of 15 from 3. Tigers led by 13 at the half, and the game completely flipped in the second half. A lot of 47 points to Mizzou in the second half, scored 29, and LSU loses 81-76. I mean, even on the day where you decide to go unconscious, 11 of 15 from 3 to start, they finished 14 of 28. Still 50% from 3, 42, nearly 43% from the floor. 16 turnovers did you in. LSU even made their free throws. They were 20 of 22 from the free throw line. Whatever. Thank God it's almost over. Meanwhile, the Pels last night went to Portland and got a win. So in some respects, that erases your loss against Orlando. You lost one you shouldn't have, and then you won one you shouldn't have. So Pels beat Portland. One that got, I can't tell you how big that win is. Considering you're on this West Coast road swing, and now you're at the Warriors tomorrow, and then you're at the Kings. So that was massive yesterday to get that one. So, BI had 40 points. You needed your superstar to be a superstar, and he was. So, all right, y'all, let's see what y'all got. NFL Combine, the on-field work begins today. The position groups that start doing their on-field workouts begins today. So, starting to get some updates out of the Combine today. And anything else, y'all fire away. You know the drill. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. YouTube, smash that like button if you would. Trivia Carter, good morning. Wendell Norman. Ryan Pike went to the LSU Texas game the other day. I can assure you Christian Little is not little, right? Ryan, don't think you needed to go to the game to know that. Yeah, it looks like a defensive end coming out of the bullpen. I love it. I love him in that role. That was the role that Grant Taylor was going to play. Taylor was starting the season as the number 2 guy. But basically that was the plan eventually. Hurd would move into the rotation, and Taylor would be your back of the bullpen guy. Coming out of the bullpen throwing 100. And now, so they've moved Riley Cooper into that role as the number 2 starter. Eventually, I believe Hurd will move into that role. Excuse me, and then Little becomes the back of the bullpen. That would be ideal anyway, the ideal situation. And Cliff Nelson. Good morning, Scone. Lifelong UGA fan here. Apparently unbeknownst to me, my great uncle Ernest and the UGA president at the time were lifelong friends, and I was just born into it. Go Dogs. That's why you gotta come to Scone and Tea. Oh my God, Cliff, I was laughing last night, bro. Oh, I literally was laughing. So Cliff is our resident Cowboys, Celtics, New York Rangers fan, Yankees. So we give him a lot of crap for his allegiances. All in fun, of course. But the best part, so T-Bob yesterday goes, like, well, Cliff, it's Cliff Nelson, noted Georgia Bulldog, lifelong Georgia Bulldog fan. And he starts that whole thing like, yeah, born into my great uncle Ernest was was friends with President Thackenhatcher. Just made up a name, an academic name. Anyway, it was in the way that T-Bob does it. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny, and that's why you got to come to Scone and Tea and Oliver Twist. Brian Pinton, good morning from Van Buren, Michigan. Okay. Kelly Gross, Ryan Amanda Guidry, Truax, what's up? Chuck Sanchez, what's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck. Jason Horn, what's going on? Bad News Birds won. Yes, they did. Hashtag Shoe Gang, hashtag Team Drew. Thank you. Jason Austin, what's going on? Good morning. Brant Roban, morning Scone, flying down to BR. Oops. Sorry. Lost it. Flying down to BR for the UT LSU baseball games. Can't wait. Hope the weather turns out good. Yeah, it should, man. Should be. Should be a lot of fun that weekend, man. Craig Duga, basketball. I'm sorry, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, Craig. I think this offseason will tell you a lot, right? So you got 2 seniors, and you've got 2 freshman signees coming in. So they're sort of your 1-for-1 with your roster. But very obviously that ain't it. I mean, when Matt McMahon met with the media a couple days ago, he didn't even talk about recruiting high school athletes. He said specifically portal. And that's going to have to be the approach. You're going to have to go find some superstar freak show stud who can actually play at the major college level, night in and night out, to come and then be the Pied Piper to bring others. That's just the way that you'll have to turn around this roster. Ryan Amanda Guidry, very disappointed with the Tigers last night and all season. Quentin Breakbill, good morning. John Wesley Wagoner, good morning. What do you think the issue is with LSU basketball? You know, John, I mean, I don't know how many more ways that I could say this because we've literally said the same thing all year. I don't think people understand. Like, I really genuinely don't think fans understand how much of a lack of talent they have on this team. They are a mid-major roster playing in the SEC, which is a deep, talented basketball league. You go, just you lose guys like Efton Reed and Brandon Murray and Alex Fudge, guys that transfer out of your program, and you bring in. Derek Fountain, who's sitting on the bench at Mississippi State, Cam Hayes, who had lost his job at NC State. You bring in Kendall Coleman from Northwestern State. I get Trey Hannibal, who started his career at Southern, if I'm not mistaken, and went to was it South Carolina? And point is, man, like, your roster's not good. You don't have shooting. You don't have length. You don't have rim protection. You don't have ball handlers. Like, you just ain't good. Like, you don't have talent. And McMahon had to build this roster with 2 hands tied behind his back. Not only do you have all the potential looming sanctions, it's hard to go recruit. Hey, coach, we gonna be able to go to the tournament? Don't know. You gonna have scholarship restrictions? Don't know. You know what I mean? Like, how do you go recruit? like that. So they need to rectify or have finality with the NCAA case is what they need. But the answer to your question about, what the issue is with basketball, John, is they don't have any talent, man. I mean, you're in a league that's got Bama and Auburn and Tennessee and Kentucky and Texas A&M took a huge step forward this year. And I mean, you got no talent. Craig Duguay, you lose the bulk of the offense, no telling who will transfer. Not a great recruiting class. I mean, it's possible next year is a repeat. Yeah, it is. But that's why the transfer portal is going to be key, Craig. But you got to get the NCAA sanctions off their plate. I mean, they've got to get finality to that, so then McMahon can move forward and recruit without that albatross around his neck, man. Like, how do you go recruit when you can't tell a recruit, hey, we're going to have a full complement of scholarships and we're not going to have a postseason ban, when you don't know that? Pat Usman, Jeff McKithen, what's going on? Yeah, and Craig, you're right. So it's concerning there was no progression. You're right. I just don't know what you wanted to see. I mean, bad shooters don't all of a sudden become good shooters. Short guys don't all of a sudden have length. You know what I mean? Like, you can't fabricate some of the stuff. Sometimes you just got to go through the fire. I know nobody wants to hear that, but we talked about before the season that felt, the ceiling for this team. My hope was they could maybe get to 7 or 8 conference wins and get to the NIT. I mean, that was the ceiling for this team that I hoped for, like a year one Will Wade type scenario. But you win all your pre-conference games, whatever, they were 11-1. And then they beat Arkansas and people were like, oh, look, maybe they're betting. No. Brad David, good morning. How bad do you think Jalen Carter's draft stock will be affected with his arrest? Yeah, it's a good question, Brad. I think it depends on how quickly it's rectified. Look at Lyle Collins. Back in 2014, Lyle would have been a first rounder. And it was basically, hey, protect the shield. Nobody draft him. So if they quickly rectify the legal situation, then I don't think he's affected at all. But if that lingers to and through the draft, then yeah, that could affect him. Damon Gilmore, I never understood the Jackson Hayes experiment. What do you mean you never understood the Jackson Hayes experiment? Like what part of it? Like just drafting him? I mean, I don't know what's hard to understand about drafting him. That's basically how the NBA drafts. I mean, he's a super long, super athletic young guy that you figure you bring in and you let him develop. I mean, that's actually not hard at all to understand. Now, if you're wondering like why his minutes have basically gone to 0, that's a Willie Green question. But Jackson played well last night. 15 points in 16 minutes. Gave you 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, he played really well last night. Cliff Nelson, Missouri minus 4.5 bettors. Not a rocking chair cover. That is true. That is true. Eric Waterwater realized last night that the they in the because they made us is now technically you. No, that's T-Bob. Are you talking about in the Scone and T Open? The because they made us. That's T-Bob saying that, not me. K. Blaze Stoltz, I'll be able to catch LSU game this weekend, probably Saturday, live in NOLA. Not a long drive. Very cool, yeah. Should be a fun weekend at the box. 4 games this weekend, by the way. Remember, 4 games, Friday to Monday. Tim Gotro, Austin Kidder, good morning. Eric Wilderrotter, when Skeens pitches, could you hit him and DH for an Pulp? It seems like that would put the best bats in the lineup. No, you couldn't. If your pitcher hits, you forfeit the DH. So if Napolt plays in the field, he still has to bat. I mean, right now, Napolt's your best option defensively at third. I guess you could give Jack Merrifield a try. But because they have so many bats in the lineup, they're, I think, okay having Napolt in there in the 9 hole because he's playing good defense and you have enough offense. So, I mean, eventually, who was that? Eric. Yeah, eventually Eric, when Tommy White goes back to third, I mean, it's easy to see what'll happen, right? Tommy White will go back to third. Trey Morgan will go to first. Bear Jones will DH. And Paxton Kling will go in the outfield, back in the everyday lineup. So, and that's what'll happen whenever, when White's able to play third again. Weston Weaver, Reed Rule, morning Scone, said that the only highlight was Parker Edwards, #never forget. His first game and his last game, man. His first game against Southeastern, he scored 25 points. I remember that. He had 6 threes. And 6 threes in like 11 minutes. Mudbug LA, morning Matt. When we be able to watch LSU on TV without buying another package? Starting this weekend. Yeah, so every home game and every SEC game will all be on part of the ESPN SEC Network, ESPN Plus package. You know, it's just LSU went and played road games, and when you play road games, you don't control the media rights to that. As always, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You know the drill. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. Right there, inside the Surgical Specialty Center on Bluebonnet. You need an orthopedist, they're the best. And Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. You need a roof, they'll give you a free no obligation roofing inspection. By the way, Ida claims, if you had or think you may have had damage from Ida, you have 2 years from the date of the storm to file a claim. So that's coming up in August. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of, still see that every day. A lot of people have Ida damage and never got their roof checked. So Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Of course, go see Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. If you have pain, book a session. You'll be glad you did. And ProCharge EV. Install day yesterday. Installed some more EV chargers at a few businesses around town. So shopping centers, grocery stores, car dealerships, your home, if you're a home builder, if you're building a home, EV chargers, ProChargeEV.com. Jason Champagne, I think he meant since your promotion, you're the they because they made. Oh, got it. Got it. I got it. That, yes. Cajun Country, will pitchers be on a pitch count this weekend? I don't know that they've necessarily been on a pitch count all season. I mean, we saw Skeens throw 98 pitches the first weekend. Now, you're probably talking about Chase Shores. And, I think the plan with Shores has been just to let him go through the lineup one time, in part to let him get his sea legs under, but in part to get a lot of guys work. I'm sure they'll start to let Shores extend more. Craig Duga, I'll keep hope, but Madman McMahon isn't running wild, brother. That's true. This is the house that Mulkey built. We're a women's basketball school now. Okay. What are you looking to see out of the Tigers this weekend against Butler in Central Connecticut? Tough to say, man. I think this is going to sound so cliche, but sort of the controllables, like play good defense, right? You're not going to be facing elite arms, so let's cut down the strikeouts. From a pitching perspective, let's not walk guys. Like, I know that sounds so cliche, but it's those things. Like, it's like in football, whenever you're a 34-point favorite, it's like, all right, look, don't turn the ball over, don't commit stupid penalties, stay healthy, and get out of there, right? I mean, it's kind of similar this weekend. Let's see. YouTube, please smash that like button if you haven't done so yet. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Bubba Smith, Charlie Cavell, good morning. Louisiana Tech got screwed last night by Ole Miss and umpires. Didn't see it, man. Paul Losi, Bob Poole, Glenn Laurie. Morning, Matt. What do you think the Saints do with the 29th pick in this draft? I have no idea, Glenn. I know what I'd like for them to do. I'd like for them to take the best defensive lineman on the board at 29 and then Hendon Hooker at 40. That would be my ideal scenario. I don't know if they're going to do that, though. Brant, any live shows y'all do Thursday through Saturday? Would love to pop in and visit you, T-Bob, but that's on Wednesdays, right? Yes, so Wednesday is Scone and T. Sometimes, Brant, T-Bob does, on Fridays he does remotes at Rouse's on Burbank during AFR, but as far as live remote broadcasts, I don't believe we're going to have any, man, but we'll be around. We'll be around. Brandon Wilkinson, good morning. 7:55. Jeremy Sagely, good morning. Happy Thursday. Glenn Laurie, looking for a smooth bourbon for a rookie. Glenn, I would recommend try Basil Hayden. Don't get the dark rye. Just get the Basil Hayden bourbon. It's low proof. It's light. It's easy to sip. That's a good one to start with if you're looking to start with something lower proof. I have some recommendations that are more robust and a little different, but if you just want one to sort of push off from the dock, that's a good one. It's $35, it's a good one to start with. Jeremy Sagely, can you believe football spring practice is already here? Yeah, man. 1 week from today. LSU's on the practice field. 1 week from today. Brand, people worried about the Tigers striking out so much. Do you think the Tigers will have as many strikeouts against UT like they did against Texas? Pitching's only get more challenging heading into SEC play. Brand, it wasn't just the Texas game. They struck out 11 times against Sam Houston State. Struck out double-digit times against Iowa. So I get why people are saying it. You've also faced some really good arms. So it's the way I kind of always say this: flip it. Like, do you think Kansas State fans should be melting because Paul Skeens struck them out 11 times? You know what I mean? Well, Paul Skeens is going to be a first-round pick. So you don't see arms like that night in and night out usually in college baseball. So anyway, for me, it's not necessarily just the total number of strikeouts. It's circumstantial. Like I've said it a couple times. Like in the sixth inning against Texas, you had runners at second and third, and Brady Neal up, the chance to at a plate a go-ahead run, struck out. In the seventh, they did the old intentional walk of Dylan Cruz, with 2 outs, and you had Joe Bear up, and you got to provide protection for Dylan Cruz in the lineup, and Joe Bear struck out. Like, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, Tommy White doubles to lead off the fourth, and then they strike outside. Like, that's, you get the leadoff runner on second base, and the inning ends with him standing on second base. That's more the concern. Let's see, John, rye whiskey or grain whiskey, which do you like? So I love rye, but there's a ton of bourbons that I love too, man. I love wheated bourbons. The only thing I really haven't found a love for is Scotch. But people always tell me, we can find you Scotches you like. You're probably right, but I'm a little preoccupied. Brandon Wilkinson, Matt, what's your thoughts on Oak and Eden whiskey? I've had Oak and Eden. It's good. All right, let's see. When is Hutko getting an outfield sign at the box? I don't know. One other question: what is McMahon's buyout? Yeah, it's healthy. Remember, he's got an 8-year deal. Like, he's not going anywhere. So you got to they're not firing Matt McMahon. Stop. Jeff Hawk, what's going on, man? From Arcadia. Where is Arcadia, Louisiana? I don't know that I've ever been there, Jeff. The Pirate 2-15. That's what karma is. Will Wade, big time cheater. We should have fired him in 2017. Well, not in 2017. That's when they hired him. Carl Alexander, what's up, Scone? Okay, all right, y'all. I think we're just about done. I got to get going 8 o'clock. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. Please smash the like button if you're on YouTube. Subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the posts. LSU Daily is already live. AFR 3. We'll see you then. Peace.